Do you know that one of these deadly mistakes cost me $2,400 in engine damage? Yes, I've been there myself. But don't worry, this is why I'm sharing the top 7 mistakes that even experienced Toyota owners make. Stick around until the end. I'm revealing Toyota's secret oil viscosity trick. It's buried deep in your owner's manual. Most people never find it, but it can extend your engine life by 50,000 miles. Alright, let's start with mistake number 1. Never use anything except Toyota WS transmission fluid. When it comes to Toyota vehicles, using the wrong transmission fluid is one of the most damaging mistakes an owner can make. Toyota designed its transmissions to run on very specific fluids, especially Toyota WS World Standard fluid. Unlike older Dexron or Mercon fluids, Toyota WS has a unique viscosity and a carefully engineered additive package that keeps gears lubricated, maintains proper hydraulic pressure, and protects delicate clutch packs inside the transmission. Toyota transmissions, especially the ones in Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Highlander, and Tacoma, aren't very forgiving. If you pour in the wrong fluid, it doesn't just sort of work. It can actually cause the transmission to shift roughly, overheat, and wear out faster. Some CVT-equipped Toyotas, like Corolla and RAV4 models, require special CVT fluid that's totally different from WS. Mixing or substituting fluids can destroy the steel belts and pulleys in a CVT in no time. You might not notice the damage right away. At first, it might just feel like a slight hesitation or a rough shift. But over months, the wrong fluid breaks down the internal components until one day, boom, your Toyota needs a full transmission replacement. And that bill? We're talking anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000 in the US, depending on the model. Toyota even warns in its manuals that using non-WS fluid will void transmission coverage under warranty. That's how serious this is. So, if you own a Toyota, always double-check the fluid type before a service. If a shop offers a universal ATF, say no thanks. Your Toyota isn't built for shortcuts. Stick to Toyota WS or the exact fluid listed in your owner's manual. It's the cheapest insurance you'll ever buy for your transmission. Mistake number 2, ignoring frame rust on older Toyotas. One of the biggest mistakes Toyota truck and SUV owners make is ignoring frame rust. If you drive a Tacoma, Tundra, Sequoia, or even an older 4Runner, this is something you can't afford to overlook. Toyota actually had massive recalls and buybacks in the US because frames on certain Tacomas and Tundras rusted so badly they became unsafe to drive. Here the problem is road salt, humidity, and moisture all attack the steel frame from the inside out. On the outside, it might look like just a little surface rust, but underneath, the metal can rot until it loses strength. That's when frames start cracking, suspension mounts break free, or worst case, the truck becomes a total write-off. I've seen perfectly good engines and transmissions end up in the junkyard just because the frame couldn't pass inspection. Toyota did offer frame replacements for many affected trucks, but those programs are ending. That means it's up to owners now to stay ahead of the problem. The mistake is thinking, it's just a little rust, no big deal. In reality, once it spreads, it's almost impossible to stop without major repairs. So you should regularly inspect the frame, especially if you live in the Rust Belt or anywhere roads are salted. Look at the rear leaf spring mounts, cross members, and near the fuel tank. Those spots usually go first. If you catch rust early, you can clean it up and apply a rust converter or protective coatings like fluid film or POR 15. Ignoring frame rust is one of the fastest ways to kill a Toyota truck. These vehicles are built to run for decades, but only if the frame holding everything together stays solid. Don't let rust take away the reliability your Toyota is known for. If you made it this far, then consider liking this video, giving it a thumbs up, and subscribing to my channel. This helps me bring you more honest car advice. Mistake number 3, ignoring genuine Toyota coolant. Another big mistake Toyota owners make is ignoring genuine Toyota coolant. A lot of people think coolant is just colored water, and any green, red, or orange bottle from the parts store will do. But Toyota engines are designed for a very specific formula: Toyota Super Long Life Coolant, SLLC. Here's why it matters. Toyota's coolant is a special pink formula with a longer service life and unique corrosion inhibitors. These protect the aluminum blocks, cylinder heads, and water pumps that most Toyotas use. If you pour in the wrong coolant, it won't mix properly. Over time, it can turn into sludge, clog your radiator, and even eat away at the water pump seals. That means overheating, blown head gaskets, and repairs that can easily top $2,000. Some models like the Prius, Camry Hybrid, and Highlander Hybrid actually have two cooling systems, one for the engine and one for the inverter that powers the hybrid motor. Using the wrong coolant in these systems is even riskier, because if the inverter overheats, it can damage the hybrid battery and electronics, and that's a repair nobody wants to pay for. Toyota themselves are so strict about this that its manuals warn against mixing coolants. Even topping off with universal coolant can shorten the lifespan of your engine. Genuine Toyota SLLC is pre-diluted, which means you don't even add water. Just pour it in and you're done. Mistake number 4. Ignoring brake fluid checks. Here's another mistake many Toyota owners make: forgetting about brake fluid. A lot of people never think about it, but brake fluid is just as important as engine oil or coolant. Without good brake fluid, your car won't stop the way it should, and that's dangerous. Now, here's the science in simple words. Brake fluid is hygroscopic, which means it naturally absorbs moisture over time. More water in the fluid means lower boiling point, spongy brakes, and rusty brake lines or actuators. And if you drive a Toyota with ABS or a hybrid brake system, corrosion in the actuator can turn into a repair bill of $1,500 to $2,500 really fast. You might be wondering, but isn't the brake system sealed? Technically, yes. The cap has a one-way valve to release pressure, not let moisture in. But here's the real-world truth. We see Toyotas all the time in the shop with missing or loose brake caps. When that happens, the moisture level shoots through the roof. So what should you do? Don't replace brake fluid just because a shop tells you every 20,000 miles. Instead, test it. You can buy a simple brake fluid tester strip online or at any auto parts store. Dip it in the reservoir, and it'll show if the moisture is too high. Some electronic testers exist too, but the strips are more reliable. And here's a bonus. The same strip can also test your coolant. In most Toyotas, brake fluid can last anywhere from 3 years to over 5 years, depending on conditions. That's why testing is smarter than guessing. It's a quick 2-minute job you can do yourself, and it saves you from unnecessary upsells at the dealership. So remember, check it, test it, and only replace it when it's really needed. Mistake number 5. Neglecting the EGR valve. Here's a mistake many Toyota owners don't even know about: neglecting the EGR valve, especially on Toyota hybrids and diesel models. EGR stands for exhaust gas recirculation, and it's a system that helps reduce emissions by recirculating some exhaust gases back into the intake. Sounds simple, right? But here's the problem. Over time, that valve and the intake passages around it get clogged with carbon. On popular Toyota hybrids like the Prius, Camry Hybrid, and Highlander Hybrid, a clogged EGR system can cause rough idling, poor fuel economy, loss of power, and even head gasket failures if ignored too long. In Toyota diesels like the Hilux, Land Cruiser, and European market models, the buildup is even worse because diesel exhaust carries more soot. That leads to blocked intake manifolds and turbo problems, which can cost thousands to repair. The tricky part is that many Toyota owners assume hybrids need less maintenance. While that's true in some areas, the EGR system is one place you can't ignore. Toyota has even issued technical service bulletins, TSBs, on certain Prius models because clogged EGR passages were causing expensive engine issues at around 100,000 miles. The good news: cleaning the EGR valve and cooler isn't that hard for a skilled mechanic. Many Toyota specialists recommend checking and cleaning it every 60,000 to 80,000 miles. For diesels, even sooner if you do a lot of city driving or short trips. So don't let your Toyota's EGR system get neglected. A little cleaning can save you from blown head gaskets, poor performance, and repair bills in the thousands. If you drive a Toyota hybrid or diesel, this is one maintenance step that can make all the difference in keeping your engine reliable. Mistake number 6. Using non-original parts. Here's another mistake that can slowly destroy the reliability Toyota is famous for: using non-original parts. One of the biggest reasons people love Toyotas is that they just keep going. It can easily last 15+ years with the right care. But when you start swapping in cheap aftermarket parts, that's when the problems begin. I've seen it so many times. Someone replaces their worn-out struts with aftermarket ones, and suddenly the ride feels worse than before. Or they install off-brand brake pads, and the car squeals, vibrates, or wears out way too quickly. The truth is, Toyota engineers design every original part, from spark plugs and sensors to suspension components, to last tens of thousands of miles under very specific conditions. That's why your Toyota feels solid and dependable. When you replace those parts with cheaper versions, they might fit, but they won't perform the same. Over time, that difference adds up, causing extra wear on other systems and leaving you with a car that just doesn't feel like a Toyota anymore. Yes, genuine parts can be pricey, but here's the surprise. These days, the price difference between original Toyota parts and aftermarket ones is often much smaller than people think. Sometimes it's only a $10 to $20 difference, but that little saving can cost you years of reliability. And remember, many Toyota owners get 15 years or more out of their original factory parts. Why gamble with something unproven when you already know the originals work? So if you love your Toyota and want it to stay as reliable as the day you bought it, stick to genuine Toyota parts. They're what made your car great in the first place, and they'll keep it great for the long run. Mistake number 7. Using the wrong oil viscosity. This is the one that cost me $2,400. I walked into my local quick lube place with my 2019 Camry a couple of years ago for just a regular oil change, and they dumped 5W30 oil into my engine. But my Camry needs 0W20 oil, not 5W30, not 5W20, specifically 0W20. You must be thinking, why does this matter? Your Toyota has something called VVTi. That's variable valve timing with intelligence. Engine oil pressure is applied to an actuator to adjust the camshaft position, and this system needs thin oil to work properly. When you use thick oil like 5W-30, it can't flow through those tiny passages fast enough. The VVTi system starts struggling. Your engine timing gets messed up. After 15,000 miles with the wrong oil, my engine developed a timing chain stretch, and the repair came out to be new timing chain, tensioners, and VVTi actuators. This drained my wallet to a total damage of $2,400. But what really got me mad was, the maintenance booklet says the engine oil needs to be replaced every 5,000 miles with the correct viscosity, and the engine filter should be changed every 12,000 miles or once a year. Yet most quick lube places ignore this. Your Camry, Corolla, RAV4, or Highlander, they all need 0W20 oil for a reason. Many of these engines have tighter bearing clearances that require a lower viscosity oil for proper lubrication. Check your oil cap right now. If it says 0W20, that's what you use every single time. No exceptions. Don't learn this lesson the expensive way like I did. Then be sure to watch this video where I'm explaining why you should only buy used Toyotas.